Welcome to Conversations with Cox and Kielseth, and to be more specific, that is filmmaker Alex Cox and myself, film curator Pablo Kielseth. Alex will join us by phone from his home in Oregon, while I sneak away from my office to call him from one of the projection booths used by the International Film Series, which has been screening foreign and independent movies at CU Boulder since 1941. We will keep our chats to about 20 minutes as we discuss whatever movie-related topics grab our fancy. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, action.
Awesome, wonderful. Well, it's nice. It's been a couple of weeks now. We both had to take our respective time off a little bit. I was scooping the ashes of my dead friend into the waters of the Provincetown area in Massachusetts, and you were at a film festival.
I was having a good time. Yeah.
Tell me about your trip. Where'd you go, and what'd you see? Who'd you talk to? What was going on?
I went to the Almeria Festival of Westerns, which happens in a little town called Tabernas in southern Spain. And Tabernas is in the middle of a desert called the Tabernas Desert, which, as you can probably imagine, has become a movie location over the years. And so
is that where you shot Straight to Hell?
That's where we shot Straight to Hell, and that's where they went to shoot extra scenes of Lawrence of Arabia, because it was so expensive to go back to North Africa that when they needed to do additional scenes and pickups, they shot them all in the Tabernas Desert in Almeria. And then they made westerns there in the 60s and 70s and continued to make westerns there. And most recently, Ridley Scott was there filming a movie that I think is called Exodus.
Oh, and I think actually, wait, when was this, the Exodus thing?
Exodus or Moses, or it's like the Charlton Heston film.
Yeah, because our Derek C. and friends who attended classes here at Cinema Studies in Boulder. I think he's working on a Western, and I seem to recall when I last looked it up, it's in pre-production, but I think Ridley Scott was listed as a producer for that, so that's interesting.
Well, I would doubt that there's much of a connection, unless they're going to go shoot in Almeria. But they built a whole town for the Ridley Scott film. They built another one of these sets, which you can go and visit. It's a decaying Arab village in the middle of an olive grove.
Now you were also out there not too long ago shooting some documentary that got used as a bonus for was there a Blu-ray release of a particular title, or?
They showed the documentary. They showed Straight to Hell, and most excitingly, they gave me an award.
Oh, what was the award?
Premio Tabernas de Cine, our director Alex Cox, it says here in the program. And what it is, they have these seats on the main street into town, like that you can sit on. They're like metal copies of canvas directors' chairs. And on the back of each seat is punched out, the name of the recipient. So there's one for the director Enzo Castellari. There's one for a Spanish actor called Jorge Martin. There's another one for Sara Montiel. And the last one that they put down there last year was for Claudia Cardinale.
Hey, good company.
Because she shot Once Upon a Time in the West in 1968. And so I received one of these seats, and my seat is next to Claudia Cardinale's.
Wow! Now these are actual seats that you can sit in?
You can sit on. They're metal seats bolted to the ground that will last a lot longer than their recipients.
So, but that's the award itself, right? Is that seat that you?
Yeah,
so
and it's incredible.
So you have nothing to sit on at home other than your normal furniture. But if
they don't
anyone
give you
wants
any
to go-
additional furniture. No, they give you an additional trophy to commemorate the seat. But the seat is the big deal because there was
Well,
like a
that's-
parade through town with like all the school kids dressed up as cowboys and Indians, line
Now,
dancing.
if someone wants to go out there, where do you fly into, and how far do you have to drive, and what's the
It's all the
I
way
want a
down
seat, and that's it.
on the south coast to the east of Malaga. There's a town called Almeria, a port called Almeria, and you can fly into Almeria Airport, or you can fly into Malaga, or you can fly into Madrid and take the train down to Almeria, or you can take the train from Barcelona down to Almeria even. So there's various ways of getting down there. And then when you're down there, you either take a bus up to Tabernas and walk out into the desert, or you rent a car, or you go on a tour that'll take you to the desert and take you to the western towns. The woman the excellent organizer of this thing, this woman called Cristina Sirena, has a company called Mal Caminos, and I think they organize tours in the desert and take people out there.
Lots of options there. What was the name of the documentary of yours that they screened there? What was the
I don't know if it has a name. I think it's called the Fistful of Dollars. I mean, sorry, for a few dollars more locations.
But so it's a bonus feature on a re-release
It's
for
a
a few
bonus
dollars
feature
more.
on the most recent release of, for a few dollars more, the 4K restoration that Kino Lorber brought out at the beginning of this year.
Oh, that might be a good one to play at the International Film Series. Put it on the big screen.
I think it would look pretty good if you got the Blu-ray. I imagine it would look quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, could be an excuse to fly you back out here, maybe during Stout Month next time.
Well, you would be even more thrilled to know there's a print, because when I did that, a season of Italian Westerns at the Loft in Tucson last August of last year, everything else that we showed was a Blu-ray. Requiescant, The Great Silence, Django Kill. Well, The Great Silence might have been a DCP. But they got a 35mm print for a few dollars more, and it looked really good.
Oh, well, that's exciting. That is good intel to have.
Yeah.
Now, I actually saw Claudia Cardinale in person.
Really?
And it was years ago, but she came, and it was at the Telluride Film Festival, and they had an outdoor screening in the park in front of the festival of Once Upon a Time in the West, and she was there to introduce it. And,
great.
Yeah, she still looked great, and now she wasn't there, of course, this last time. I think this last Telluride Film Festival, they had Adam Driver there to introduce the film in the park. And that was for The Return of the Jedi, which was a little strange to see a title of that particular, nature at the Telluride, but I'd never seen it before.
I know, that's a weird thing to be playing at the,
It's an anomaly. I've been going for many years, and I've never seen a big budget sci-fi film like that. But again, they were celebrating the actor, so I guess that's what popped up. They had, I'll tell you, my three favorite films at that last Telluride Film Festival, and I don't know if I'd already told you this, but it was First Cow, which is also a Western, directed by Kelly Reichardt, and she's a really good director who I like her previous work, and I think this might be one of her best films yet. And I think you would actually really enjoy it, because it's very, it just has, it's about, two guys who are just trying to make ends meet as fur trappers back during the pioneering days in Oregon. She loves to shoot in Oregon. So it's just got very good performances. And I think you should check it out if it comes near you, which it should.
Well, it probably will. It'll play in our local art house.
Yeah. And of course, everyone's talking about Parasite, which. And as a fan of Snowpiercer, which is a previous film by that director, I have to say Parasite was it was over 2 hours long, but boy, does it hold your attention, and it takes a lot of unexpected turns, and it's also similar to Snowpiercer, got a lot of things to say about the haves and the have-nots. and then there's a violent third act where
This is the one
really,
where they take over the family, or they pretend to be servants and become.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I read a review
Yes.
of that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then the third film that was definitely in the top tier, Pain and Glory by Pedro Almodovar. He's I'd say he was operating on all cylinders for this one.
Great.
So if anyone hearing this likes Pedro Almodovar, they've certainly got that film to look forward to. I'd normally be very excited to say that I'll be first in line to bring it to the International Film Series, but because it's being distributed by Sony Pictures Classics, unfortunately they make it very hard for an underdog exhibitor such as myself to get my paws on their titles.
Yeah.
But it means that it'll certainly play at the local multiplex at very, very least.
Even though it's in Spanish.
Well, it'll be subtitled. Yeah, and yeah,
Wow.
Sony Pictures Classics has definitely a line of films that they. I mean, Boulder's got 100,000 people, and it's got the multiplex has 16 screens, so they do actually
yes, yeah,
they do quite all right with a lot of the Sony Picture Classic titles there. So that's not a problem for them. Yeah. But well, whew, that was a lot of you've been traveling quite a bit. That's a long stretch of a road to go, or to fly rather.
Well, I saw a film I went on the Iberia flight from Los Angeles nonstop to Madrid, which is much better than having to change planes somewhere on the way. And it was on board. I saw a Spanish film called 70 Bin Ladens.
Interesting. Could you tell me more in terms of, is this a drama or is it a comedy or what the heck is it?
It's a drama about a woman. A Bin Laden apparently is a 500 euro note, and she has to come up with 70 Bin Ladens in order to get back her kid, who's otherwise going to be taken into foster care. But she can bribe the child, the child services guy to get her kid back. So she's in the bank trying to get the money, trying to get a loan so she can get the kid back when bank robbers descend on the bank. Many hijinks ensue, and I don't know any of the actors. There's no movie stars. I don't even think they're Spanish movie stars, although the leading actor might be. But she's just like this ordinary-looking, bland woman who turns out to be like a super criminal with a kind of a master brain that surpasseth everybody else in the movie. And it's very interesting. And you rarely see a film where there's somebody who's just like really, really clever. So that was interesting. I mean, I didn't like everything about it, but it was interesting. Otherwise, I never would have even got to see a film called 70 Bin Ladens if I hadn't been on the Iberia flight.
Well, that's interesting. So you didn't like anything about it, but you saw it from
No, I
beginning
didn't.
to end.
I said I didn't like it. No, I didn't say I didn't like anything about it. I said there were some things I didn't like about it, but
gotcha.
Or rather, I said I didn't like everything about it. Maybe I was not sufficiently.
No. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah,
it's funny. Now, it used to be, of course, that the movies that you would see on airlines when they were provided, that if you turn the clock back a few decades, they used to be notoriously edited to be the shortest possible version you could find of that particular title. Not only cropped, but also edited for content and for language and so they were just the absolute shortest versions possible, cleaned up, and anything that might have been unseemly missing from it. I was surprised on my flight back from Boston to Colorado on JetBlue, which offered quite a few movies, including The Shining and
The Shining was on the menu when I was traveling as well.
Yeah. So I normally don't ever watch movies when flying, but this time out I wanted to take a break from the book I was reading, and some friends had recommended this comedy that was available as part of the selection, which was Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And I was just surprised that there was buttocks, there was boobs, there was sexual activity, and it was all happening right in front of me.
I think it's because everybody has their own individual monitor and headphones, and so you don't have. It's not like you share. It's not like when there was a 16mm projection on board the plane of like one movie.
Oh, man,
everything is different now. Everybody consumes their media individually.
But it's kind of nuts, isn't it, that you can actually see nudity on a screen that other people can see if they're next to you or sitting behind you. I no judgment here. I mean, it's just fascinating to me to see how much things have changed. But I'm also going to reveal my age by saying that I actually am old enough to remember traveling on a plane and being able to smoke in the plane. So.
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's also that maybe the airlines are, kind of tend towards different clientele. I would assume if you're like, I always, because like United and American are just the same, but I kind of always think that United is like the Democrat airline and American is the Republican airline, and I don't know if there's any reality to that at all. But so maybe they do, depending on, and like Alaska, if the only meal they give you on Alaska is breakfast to Mexico City, and it comes with like the Lord's Prayer or something like that, So I actually wrote complaining about that, and was told I should be grateful that they had the Lord's Prayer. But so maybe depends on the politics of the airline. Maybe the more liberal airline will allow the odd nipple or swear word to get through, But the more conservative airlines might still be showing the shorter version.
Now, and then the question would be: Is there an anarchist airline out there that you've ever flown on?
It'd be hard to imagine because of the nature of the operation, wouldn't it? It'd be hard to conceive of an anarchist airline, or indeed an anarchist railway operation.
Of course, yeah. And I forgot to tell you also at Telluride, I saw a documentary Varda by Agne, that was all about the life of Agnes Varda.
How was it?
It was it was good. It was it went through. It gave you a good broad view of her career, including sort of the very last few years when she started to drift more into art installations. And I had never been privy to those, so it was nice to see those works of art. And what was also interesting was that it was introduced by Martin Scorsese in person. He showed up to talk a little bit about his experiences because he had a friendship with Agnes Varda, apparently. So yeah, it was a good event. All in all, we hope to screen some of her movies at on the next IFS spring program. Yeah. Well, I think we're coming up on the mark of what might be the limit to your taping machines over there. Any parting words for anyone who might be listening?
Oh, let me think. Any parting words? Yes, anybody who finds themselves in Spain or southern Spain in the latter part of the year should journey to the southeastern corner and visit the Almeria Festival of Westerns. I think it switches around. Last year it was in October. This year it was in November. Wait, this is October. We're here now. Yeah. In reverse. Anyway, it's worth checking out. And I've had a most wonderful time there. So I would definitely recommend, especially filmmakers, people who are interested in Westerns, because they're still making Westerns there. When I was staying in the Western town in the Cabana, or in one of the Western towns, and the second morning that I woke up there, they were shooting a Russian fiber optic commercial with a whole bunch of cowboys and lamps and horses, and so the Western lives.
And they can sit in a seat with your name on it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You go to Tabernas, you can do that. If you don't go, that's assuming you don't go to Tucson, of course, which is also an excellent place to shoot Westerns.
Right, but they don't have a dedicated festival for Westerns.
No, they don't have a seat with my name on it, not yet anyway.
Yeah, or that. Yeah. Right. Wonderful. Well, it's also just so nice to hear your voice again. It's been a while.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, and
thank you.
Say hi to Jason and everybody else.
Yep, I will. And let's convene this same time next week.
I look forward to it.
Oh, all right.
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I'll be here next Thursday. Yes. Speak to you then. Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you then. All right. Ciao.
And cut. Okay, that's a wrap.
Thanks again for joining Alex Cox and myself today. I'd like to thank Jason Phelps for handling the audio and Ted Thacker for letting us use the intro to his song, The Ballad of Slim Cessna, for the musical cues that bookend these conversations. Don't forget to go out there and watch movies in a larger-than-home venue. It's what brings us all together to see movies the way they were meant to be seen, on the big screen, as we sit next to strangers, neighbors, and friends.